TWN podcast.
One little bit of news and then one big bit of news to wrap off this week's podcast. First of all, we've got to mention it in the NWA stuff, but I'm going to mention it now. Ricky Starks has announced that he's a free agent, that he has left the NWA. Sad, because we really liked him in that promotion, but it does make sense that he randomly dropped the belt at the end of tapings to Ziggy Dice when they were kind of putting him over as a big deal. So, yeah. Well, whatever he does, hopefully we'll see him around, because he is so talented. Ridiculously talented.
I mean, you could probably put 2 and 2 together and get 4.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Fortune 4. He's going back to Impact. That's what he's doing. But let's talk about this big story. Oh, DJ Hyde.
Do you know the funniest part is this actually got forgotten about to most people.
This is what I thought about, because I swear this got announced months ago.
Yeah, it was, because they were running stuff in March at least. At the very earliest.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the cards from March onwards.
So I knew this was a thing, but we loved you, DJ. We even used to end the show with respect to you. That will not happen anymore, my friend. Because DJ Hyde is a bit of dick. It's come to light. We laugh.
Shock horror.
We are laughing, not at the situation, particularly at CZW for building up such a good rep at being like this great, like they've done a lot to kind of get out of that shit ass indie shtick they had. They're trying to make themselves look as good as possible.
They dropped massively, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they've really sort of put things back together the past year or so.
And then literally, like Zandig at Tournament of Death throwing Mondo off the roof, DJ Hyde has thrown CZW's rep off a roof. Because they signed a re-releasing material deal with the pay-per-view company to release their stuff. However, the titles of these pay-per-views are hilarious for all the wrong reasons. Because they are just objectively the most sexist things you could possibly hear, to the point where they are comedically sexist. The shows have been titled CZW Girls, Top Heavy and Tough. CZW Girls, Hot and Sweaty. Like, they're not even good titles. Like, genuinely...
If you genuinely get better titles on Pornhub.
As I was going to say, if you saw this on Pornhub, I would scroll past it, because it doesn't sound of good quality.
Yeah.
They then issued a statement on the whole matter, saying that they entered into a licensing agreement with a national media distributor, and they said the company had the right to utilise the footage without limitation. And they've repackaged and renamed shows because it's their right to do so, and then said, well, we are proud of them, we stand behind all the ring action. No, what you've done there is gone, they can name it whatever they want, we know it's real wrestling. No, that doesn't help. What has then come out is that a bunch of wrestlers have said that this has been released without their permission, and they are all lawyering up to sue CZW. And a whole bunch of stuff, which we won't get into because it's their word against someone else's, so we're not going to get into that situation, about negligence, about harassment, so on and so forth, been raised by Lufisto, Kimberly, and loads of other people. Yeah, this is a bit of a clanger drop by Combat Zone Wrestling. Well, particularly, it's a bit of a clanger drop by DJ Hyde, if we're honest.
It's... what they've done in terms of the repackaging and the branding is all we can really discuss, because the legality of what they've done with it, we don't know about, because we don't know what contracts are signed, or what agreement there was about these things, and what how the law actually works in America on this front as well, because the CZW may actually have the legal ability to repackage this stuff and show it in however they decide, but that depends if it's covered in the contracts, and are all the matches covered under that. Even if there are any sort of paper trails of contracts between CZW and the wrestlers on the bookings on that regard, you'd hope from their point of view that it was. It could be the pay-per-view company. They may not have done their due diligence on if the releases are there for the footage to actually legally be shown. So, those sort of things are very difficult, but the way they framed these shows to be promoted, obviously, is it's morally bankrupt. So it's morally bankrupt.
It's one of the it's the case
that's even these times.
Yeah, it's got in the case as well that they've even like the statement could have come out where they just went, we signed this agreement. We don't agree with how they've licensed our shows. We'll be talking to our distributor to see if we can get the names changed. What they've just done is gone, not my problem. We signed it over to those guys. They can name it whatever they want. Like, what you've done there is made yourself look like a massive arse and then pass the buck. But your name is still on the thing that's there. Yeah. Like, it says CZW on it. So the fact that you're passing the buck not only means...
It still reflects on you.
Yeah. Not only makes you seem like a massive idiot because you passed the buck, your name's on it still. So people are just going to go, oh, CZW, that's that one with the porn pay-per-views, yeah? It's all just a big shame.
Even if they've sold the rights on, and that they literally sold the content to those providers, they still ethically have to sell it in a right way. And if this is a situation where they have sold stuff on and not retained any of that ability to step in, then like if you're really genuinely worried about your company, so if I had a wrestling promotion and I sold it on, if they wanted to change it in any way, you'd have to stipulate that you cannot reference. There can be no references of like my wrestling company on that media. They have to rebrand the shows completely in the same way that when Rev Pro did the TV series on Free Sports, it was World of Pro Wrestling. It wasn't Rev Pro Present. Rev Pro was not mentioned in it.
Yeah, there is some like I think a lot of people are more the fact that the CW just denied all liability, but in reality, the buck does stop with them because they're the one that have licensed out this stuff. So it looks like it's going to get worse before it gets better for old CZW and DJ Hyde. We will not be advocating Mr. Hyde anymore. We'll have to find a new ridiculous deathmatch hero to stand by. Maybe we just show respect to Necro Butcher for.
To be fair, we kind of do it with. We do it with LA Park, don't we? So.
Yeah, maybe it's just we just open our fridges for LA Park. That's what we do from now on. Anyway, that's your lot for the Wrestling World Report this week. Oh yes,
I'm going to cut you off.
Cut me off, please. You did say you.
I'm gonna end this with something like that to me is like really, really positive, and it's something that's kept me kind of smiling the past few days because the Shad Gaspard incident is weirdly something that kind of hits close to me because of Emiliano Sala, who signed for Cardiff City last January. So living in Cardiff, I lived through all the news about a search and things being called off and families being worried and a lot of issues like that. So, it's kind of hit home quite close to me because it's kind of something I've lived through from a distance before. But I actually met Shad Gaspard at WrestleMania 26. There was a WrestleMania Arts charity show where wrestlers produced artwork, and there was an evening where you paid like $25 and all this money went to charity, like the local children's hospitals. It was like $25 to enter, and there was wrestlers there. You could like have a look. They were open. You could chat to them. Like, I've met loads of really, really cool people through them. But me and my friends were actually talking to JTD and Shad, and I brought up the fact about the infamous promo when they were in London, where WWE had them say euros, yeah. And I was like, dude, what was that about? And he was like, I still hate that to this day. He has family from the Netherlands, and he was like, I know that you guys don't use euros in the UK, but they made me say it. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm personally going to apologize to you. And he was so nice and so gracious of his time when, those guys don't have to be like that at any point, but he was genuinely just such a nice bloke to talk to for like a few minutes, and for what he's he's not died in a bad way. He's died a hero, and I think that's what a lot of people should really remember. It doesn't take away the pain that he has died, but almost everybody's got such positive stories of him. So if you want to have a little bit of a perk up because of it, just do a bit of scouting about on social media. There'll be loads of people sharing stories on how good of a guy he was, and like we all know, he was such a great family man.